Well, there's been a lot of stuff in the news lately. Nicki Minaj went off on people, called people hoes. Because apparently they didn't like that she was with Zoo Petting Zoo, whatever. That low life she dated. And I said it. I mean, I can't call the man a low life. I ain't gonna be that mean, but compared to how many millions she got, and I guess she happy, she with it, she with it. Then Wendy Williams, her dumb self, got back with her husband, announced this, which I had a feeling this was gonna come over. She's back with him for business reasons or whatever, whatever, whatever. Bye, Wendy. Bye. You weak too. This man that had a baby on you, and you still like, oh, okay. Then Layla Rashawn, her friend, was kissing up on her husband, and she showed up with her wedding ring on and by herself. Like I said, some women have arrangements with men that they don't care what they do, what dirt they do, as long as they married. And I don't know, she might be with it. She might be into women. I don't know. It might be a sham marriage. It might be a beard and a ponytail marriage for both of them. We don't know. They have kids together. He has two babies outside the relationship. So nobody knows what's really going on in people's household. You never know what people are down with or what goes on behind closed doors. They may be swingers. Nobody knows, okay? Um, so, people are, of course, people like news, people like scandal, people like gossip. So this was about. But then I get on YouTube a lot. I'm a social media person. Social media, yay. I'm on social media. I'm a content creator now. I'm all fancy. I'm a content creator. I'm all fancy, yeah. But a lot of I hear a lot of women talking about like well that's black men for you, and black men do this and black men do that, and you know maybe we should date other men okay. Let me. My white women who date black men, y'all can listen to, or Latinas or anybody else that dip in the black man Kool-Aid. Okay, here we go. First off, let me put this disclaimer out. This is not a reflection on my relationship, my relationship status. I am very much pleased and happy with the man I got in my life. I am very pleased and happy. Let me also say that I was married for quite a time. I was with the same man for almost 9 years, and we were married, legally married, not fake sham marriage like some people be on Facebook pretending they married and they really not. Anyway, won't go there, but I think that's silly and childish and stupid for grown folks to be doing that. Don't do that, grown folks. Don't be saying you're engaged and married. You're not really. Y'all just living together, or you're shacking up, but you want to be married, but you're not really. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not 15. I don't believe in marriage anyway. But I was married. I had a happy marriage for the most part. We had our ups and downs like anybody else. Today was his birthday. I said it in my other video. Say happy birthday to John in heaven. Happy birthday, honey. Um, we have a wonderful son together. And he was a good man. He was a good father. He was a good husband. Like I said, we had our ups and downs like everybody else. But overall, compared to some situations I see other friends going through with their spouses and boyfriends, live-ins or whatever, or girlfriends too. I can't say it's just all the men. But he was a good man. And we were together for quite a while. So in the time period that we were together, when we met, things were different. This is before social media. This was before online dating and all this stuff. This is before Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and YouTube and all that. Thank God, because I think if all that would have been around now, I probably would have never met my husband. It was a simpler time. It's a simpler time. I'm 43 years old, but he was 9 years younger than me. But it was just, we met in like 2001. So it was a simpler time. It was before all of this distraction and nonsense. And he was a white man. He's my husband was white. My husband was woke as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, my husband was woke. Like he understood certain things and the dichotomy of racism. He grew up actually in the hood in Dallas. Believe it or not, he went to school with black people. He hung around black people. He was not afraid of black people. He understood white privilege and all that. Like he was a truly a unique individual. He was very liberal minded, and my husband told it like it was, a straight shooter. Told it like a T.I. is, like the old folks say. T.I. is like he didn't miss no words. He understood sometimes better than I would see things. He'd be like, "Oh, they racist, blah blah blah." I was like, "Who? What? Who? What?" Then people over there were like, "Well, I don't know, honey. You know, no, don't be naive. Don't be stupid, Keisha." Oh, okay. Okay, well, tell me something, then. I just thought they were smiling at me. No, they're not. You're racist. I think my husband be quick to call people a racist in a minute. You're a racist white person. You don't like black people, do you? I mean, my husband was that's just how it's been. That was just how his personality was. Like, he was an equal opportunity hater. He didn't like people, and he would call people on their bullsh, which I truly appreciated. But and so that was my life for a long time. And so, like I said, I didn't go through all of that the way things people go through now. And I feel, we live in a treacherous generation. But the narrative has been a lot lately with black women is that black men are horrible. Black men are terrible. Oh my God, girl. These dusty brothers, they cheat on their women and they do this and they do that. Yeah. The man I have in my life is white. Okay, so let me put that out there right now. And he's a great guy, a father. And yes, there are black men out there who don't take care of their kids. But there are people out there who don't take care of their kids, whether they got a baby mama or they got an ex-wife. Some people ditch their wives, or they get a divorce, or their wives ditch them, or they ditch each other. And they just don't take care of their kids. They check out on their kids. They get a new woman, and they may have been legally married to the mom, but then they feel like, well, the mom, she got it. And some men check out of their kids' life even after divorce. So don't get it twisted. I hear a lot of black women are like, well, other men don't treat the way. I don't know about European men. I've never dated a European man. I don't know about Jamaican men or African men from other cultures. All I do know is American men. I have quite a smattering of white female friends, and black female friends. Black female friends who date black. I have white female friends that date black. And then I have white and Hispanic female friends that date their own races and may have dipped into a brother here and now and then. But I can honestly tell you that if you think that you're going over to the white side and it's better, I'm saying stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Don't believe the hype. Stop. I know the narrative that we see on TV is these white people getting married, and these white dudes are marrying these white women, and these white dudes are doing them. I understand that what we see in movies and TV is people who don't hang around white people or don't interracially date. They think that's how that is. But as a sister who swirls, and I hate that term, but as a sister who gets her swirl on, who dates the white man, I can tell you a few things. Number one, there is a misconception that white men don't like black women, or white men. That's not true. White men won't, at least where I live. I can't speak of any place else because I live in Texas, been here for over 20 years. White men will not approach black women because they're either intimidated or scared, or they don't think that black women like them. So that's the issue. Black women, the ones that I know of who are grown, I can't speak for the younger ones. The younger generation, they on something completely, totally different. They on something different. But the ones that I know that are over 35, let's put it that way, we typically don't approach men. Like I'm very old school. I won't go up to no man and approach him. If you want to talk to me, you either have to talk to me or give me a signal or a sign or something. And from what I see when I go out, no matter what club or bar we go to, like I said, I have single black female friends, single white friends, and they all complain about the same thing, is that men don't put in the effort. Men don't really approach women. I think black men are more aggressive than other races of men are. I think Hispanic Latin men are more aggressive in approaching women, but I think white men are very, they may smile at you or nod at you, but then they kind of want you to kind of take that cues. And I think a lot of black women, or a lot of women, period, we don't take up with that cues. I don't understand how anybody could ever meet anybody in person. So now these days, there's a lot of online dating. That's what people have rested on. Like, before, online dating was a joke. Now it's really, you can't meet anybody unless you online date. unless you get hooked up with a friend of a friend of a friend, or a relative hooks you up or something like that. I mean, people just aren't out meeting people. People are very self-absorbed. Most people are in their phones. Most people are busy working, taking care of their kids if they're a single parent, and they just, people go out and stuff. But when I go out, I see a bunch of females. We're dancing with each other, like, "Hey, girl," and then the females are twerking and they doing that on each other. And then I just see the men kind of sitting over there, and really no man really approaches you and offer you a drink anymore. I mean, it's a weird time, but that's for another video. But a lot of things that people complain about black men, like I said, a lot of people say that, black men are selfish, or black men cheat, or black men are trifling. They go out with these women and da 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 da. I mean, some of that is true. I mean, but I think that's just when you're dealing with American men, especially men who are under 30 or maybe under 35, or hell, I didn't see some 40-year-old men that just need to grow the hell up. But I just think that the society that we live in has warped and twisted men and women. I think it has allowed women to just do the most. I see women becoming more like the men, or they're approaching men and being more aggressive. And I'm just like, huh? I see women just settling for anything because they want to get married, or they just want to have somebody in the house with them, or like Tanya TKO says, they just want to punt us. They just want to have something on their arm to brag about and post on Facebook and post cute pictures, and have relationship goals. Like, it's not even real or genuine a lot of times anymore. So I kind of see where Nicki Minaj is coming from. But, I just think that women are willing to just settle for anything. And I see it more than women. Now, another issue I'd like to talk about is success that a lot of people don't talk about. And attractiveness. I think the more higher you get up, and the more intelligent you are, and the more you have your shit together, and the more educated you are, I think it gets to the point where it is harder to find somebody, because once you get into the point where you're setting a certain standard for yourself, and you see how hard you work, and then especially if you have children, once you set a certain standard for yourself, then it's kind of like, okay, either two things happen. Either you end up dating down and you're going to be miserable at one time or another, or you're going to feel used, or the man is not going to feel like a man in a relationship because you're an independent black woman and you don't need a man and you can do everything. And then they find somebody that is a scallywag that they feel like they can nurture and take care of, because they feel like, well, she doesn't need me anyway. So you get into that kind of dichotomy of thinking. And like I said, that's not just with black men, that's with every man. But I think the higher you get up in your career and more independent you are financially, and more independent you are in the time more time you spend alone, then you realize that, like, having a relationship is really not important anymore. And then it's harder to meet somebody really on your level. There are a lot of successful black women out here, but there are more black women who are her teachers and business people. There's more women, period. I don't know about on the earth, but I know in our society, there's more single women. We outnumber men. Because men are struck with disease at earlier ages, and and stuff like that, and we live longer than men. And I just think, and it's just, there's more single women out here than there are single men. So men have more to choose from, and women have less to choose from. And like I said, with the situation of people talking about black men, and how once they get to a certain level, then they start dating white women. I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, yeah, there's an attraction there, or they start dating light-skinned women. I think for basketball players and entertainers, that's a whole nother issue, because they're on something. They go to strip clubs, they have women throwing themselves at them. When you're an entertainer or a singer, you have that. But I think when we're talking about really just normal guys, when you take a black male who's a lawyer or a doctor, and they're hanging around their peers, I mean, in the medical field, there's not a lot of us in the medical field. There's not a lot of us. I don't know about, like I said, I don't know about other areas. I know in Texas, there are I see white doctors. I see a lot of Indian doctors. I see some African doctors, but a lot of, like, American born, African American. I mean, it's just, you don't see a lot, especially out in the suburbs. And I think if you live in a nice area and you make good money, and you're a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher or some type of, management or professional, you hang around in the circles of the people that is your peerage. And once you get to a certain level at a certain type of job, I see less black. There's not a lot of black males where I work. I work in accounting. There's just not a lot of black men there. Once you get to a higher level, you move in the company, you're surrounded by people who don't look like you. So I think if you start socializing with people that you work with and you're going to these conferences and these networking things, I think a lot of black men run into white women and, and these white women recognize their excellence and they're attracted to them and they get to know them. And I think that just happens. I don't think necessarily they're looking for a white woman. Some of them are, but I think sometimes it's a mixture of both of just availability, and I think a lot of men who are successful don't want to date down. Now, women, on the other hand, and this is going to be a long, like I said, this video is probably going to be about 30 minutes because it's been weighing on my mind heavily. Now, women, this is the problem with successful black women. You make them, you get the bag. You get the bag like Cardi B said. You get the money. You get the money. You get the bag. You're secure. Your kids is on straight. Your money on straight. You didn't say you got your little savings and all your thing. You starting your own business. You're doing your own thing. You're working hard. You're working. You're building your empire. You're trying to do the right thing and leave something for your children. You're trying to put your children through college. Then you get educated. And you have all these things going on for you. But the higher you get, lonelier it is at the top. Like when it comes to meeting, if that's your goal, meeting somebody that looks like you. If you're a woman and black woman and you want to find another black man, the higher you get, you realize it's only the top. And I think the same thing applies for black men. It is only the top. So I'm tired of black women dragging black men for the bus for marrying white women because they get to a certain level. Rock stars, NFL players, that's a whole nother deal. But when you talk about the average man out there who has worked hard, he wants to be with somebody that's on his level. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know plenty of men out there who want black women, who date black women. And you know what? If they don't find them, they stay single. They may date around. They may date this chick over here around the way, Shaquanta, and then Denise over here. But they ain't marrying them. Like, no, they're not settling down with them. They're having their fun. They're doing their thing, living their best life. And I've seen dudes that are still single in their 40s and 50s. Some of these men have no kids. Some of these men who have kids, they have previous relationships when they're younger and their kids may be grown. But there are a lot of silver foxes, like a lot of decent brothers out there who just refuse to marry somebody who's a scallywag. It ain't nothing wrong with that. They just like, hey, you know what? I'll wait till the one come around. She come around, she do. She don't, she don't. I got my kids, it's cool. That is the type of attitude that women should have. There's nothing wrong with having a boy toy in the arm candy and dating younger or dating down. You want Thugnificent. Go date Thugnificent, girl. Thugnificent is breaking you off something proper like. Hey, do you, sister? Do you? But you don't marry the help. You don't marry the help. You don't move Thugnificent in and he still bees in the trap. Like, no, you want a man that has a good job. You want a man that's taking care of his kids. I won't date somebody who's a deadbeat. That's my thing. Stop dating deadbeats. Because I feel like I'm not gonna move no man in and be part of my life and you taking care of my kids, and if you ain't and you're not taking care of yours. Women, we need to stop betraying each other like that. Like, we are betraying other women, whether they be black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. You are betraying other women by having a dude lay up in your house who's not taking care of his kids. I feel strongly about that. Don't date deadbeats. I never have. If your kids are in another state and they grown, they doing their thing, okay, that's one thing. If your kids are younger and they're in another state and you don't really talk to them, okay, I got to know the circumstances, okay, but are you paying child support? You paying child support? Okay, they're in another state, that's fine. But I would really push the agenda that you really need to talk to your kids. You need to be part of your kids' life, even if you live 1,000 miles away. But if your kids are in the same state and they hear and you're like, well, I kind of checked out and I didn't do this, that's no excuse. That's not attractive to me. That's not cute to me. And then on top of that, if you ain't paying on child support because you financially unstable, okay, being financially unstable at 20 is one thing. Being financially unstable at 30 is something completely different. Like, you should be well on your way to having a stable job, taking care of your kids, taking care of yourself. if you want somebody to take you serious and you want to have a relationship, you want somebody to love you and care about you, you have to offer something to that other person. And then, like I said, it's not really necessarily monetary or money, but you have to offer something to that person. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of trifling men out there. Back to my point. It's not just black men. I'm tired of black women demonizing black men and they don't do nothing and they do. Honey, you are living in I think sometimes black women live in a black social bubble because they don't have a lot of white friends. They've never dated interracially seriously. But I'm telling you, it is not a black or white thing. It is a society thing. Don't believe the hype of what you see on TV and magazines and what you see on the internet about white couples and they seem so much happier. No, honey, they are miserable as hell. I have white female friends that are divorced. They talking about black women being baby mamas and black dudes baby dad. Honey, there are plenty of black women plenty of white women who are lower income, who are younger, who have multiple kids by different dudes that are white. They're Latinas. I'm going to tell y'all the same thing. It's not just the Latin men who are trifling. There are plenty of Latinas that will tell you they have kids with white men who have abandoned them, who have left them, who have kids with other women. Like I said, some of these women have gotten married and divorced, and their ex-husband ain't worth nothing. He is not taking care of his kid. He barely pays child support. I done been to child support court, honey. I done sat up there in court in my county. I won't say what county it is, but I live in a upper class county. And when I go to court, I don't, there's black people there, but there's a whole smattering of white people up there in child support court trying to take ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, and try to put them in jail because they owe tens and thousands of back child support. White people. Like, child support court is not just something that's in Dallas or just in these big metropolitan cities, honey. They out here in the suburbs as well. And like I said, I've been in child support court and sat there for 8 hours, two or three times out in my county, which is a predominantly white county. And honey, these women are going through it as well. So don't believe what you see on reality shows and TVs about statistics about all these white people getting married. I would ask, how old are they and what income do they have? Because people who are older, who have better income, they're most likely to settle down and get married. But these 20-something-year-old douchebag frat boys, bro culture that goes on in white kids and white dudes, let me school you. It's prevalent. There's white boys out there who are F-boys, who just go from chick to chick to chick to chick to chick, and that's what they do. The same things you see about black men, they chick to chick to chick to chick. Yeah, they do that. I think the only difference really is a lot of times black men don't mind procreating. These white boys do not want to procreate. They do not want these chicks. They be like ready to pay up for an abortion in a minute. Like they do not want to have 4 or 5 kids by the time they 30 years old. Now, I do see the difference in that. Like, white dudes will put a squash on that, if they're responsible enough and smart enough. But yeah, they're, so yeah, you may be the perception, but people gotta understand the perception is not reality. There are a lot of white chicks that I will get my female friends and they will tell you that they go through it, that they, when it comes to dating, which I said is, like I said before, it's been pushed to the online sphere. But trust me, I gave up on online dating about 2 years ago. I had a relationship. I gave up before I even met him. So, because it was just too hard. It was too hard. It's too difficult. And like I said, I'm a chick who swirls. And and like I said, I begin to think, well, maybe it's just me, but then I have black females who online date as well, and they go through the same exactly identical thing. Then I have white females who get online and they trying to date and they go through the exact, you would think that we were all dating the same men, but we're obviously have very different taste in men. And I have my taste in men, they have their taste in men, and we all go through it. Dudes not calling you back. Dudes ghosting on you. Dudes talking to multiple females. Dudes married and lying about it. Dudes having girls that live with them and lying about it. It don't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic. It's the dichotomy of American culture. It is so black women. Do not think you're going to jump to the other side and it's going to be better, because you are in it for a rude awakening, because there are good men in every race and bad men in every race. I honestly believe that there are good black men out there. I have friends that are married to good black men recently that met guys 2-3 years ago. But I mean, if you're older, time is not on your side, and it's getting worse. Like I said, it's getting worse. I think if you date older men, like men that are more old school in their 40s and 50s, I think maybe you're safe. I don't typically date men my age. I like younger guys. The man I'm with is younger, not like 20 or 30, but I like in their 30s. I like in the 30s, but once, because I like men to be a little bit more settled and be mature and be, like I said, I like fathers because I have kids, and I don't mind if a man, I prefer a man have a child. I dated a guy before, and he didn't have any kids, and there's just a level of selfishness that I can't deal with. I'm still recording. I'm almost done. I got 4 more minutes. Yes, I have several videos to record. My children. Anyway. But yeah, I prefer men who have children. But the idea that I'm just tired of demonizing black men, that they all do this and they all do that and no other race does that. Yeah, honey, don't think you're gonna jump to the other side and you're gonna meet some white prince and he's gonna scoop you up on his horse with the unicorn and take you off somewhere and marry you. No, you're gonna stumble upon a bunch of dudes who are confused and lost, just like black men are. You're going to deal with dudes who say one thing and then mean something else, or say they want to be married and want to settle down, but they really don't. Just like brothers do. You're going to deal with men who will lie to you, cheat on you, manipulate you, take you for granted. And then, like I said, all across the board in American dating system and with men, not like I said, not all men, but what the things I've heard from my female friends who are out there looking and dating is that men don't put in effort. Like they want to have a text relationship. They don't want to pick up the phone and call you. They don't want to make any plans. They want you to do all the work. You put all the effort. That is one reason why I stopped dating, got off the dating lines and said to hell with all of that. Because I don't even chase my liquor. So if you think I'm going to chase you, you got another thing coming. And like I said, this is across all the board. And then you have a bunch of men who are men children, who want to be coddled, who want to be babied, who want to be carried to, who have very high self-esteem, but they ain't worth shit. Yeah, your self-esteem is up here. Oh, I'm great. And I don't know if men says this just for bravado or to make themselves feel good, or they think that's being more attracted to women. But it's not. It's not. Like, I mean, I understand you should feel good about yourself. You should have the way you carry yourself should have some sense of pride. But I don't need a man who has some inflated, arrogant, egotistical ego. I just need you to have a sense of pride about yourself and the way you carry yourself. And then that should be demonstrated and not told. But the idea some of these men just really think that, like, oh, I'm so great and I'm so wonderful and I do this and this and this and this and this. And really they not doing nothing. They not about nothing. And I just don't like arrogance and ego just for the sake of arrogance and ego. And people complain that black men are arrogant and coddled. Honey, men are arrogant and coddled. We live in a society where a lot of men are raised by single women. And these single women, unfortunately, because I am a single mother, and I try my hardest, but I mean, a lot of us, we don't have a choice. We have our son surrounded by women. My son is surrounded by females, grandmother, sister, me, his aunt. I don't have a choice in that. I don't have brothers down here. I don't have a father. I didn't have a father. He's up north. I don't have any uncles there. I mean, I'm not from here. I'm from Detroit. I'm from Michigan. So I'm not from here. So I don't have a huge social circle of people, much less men in my social circle to have my son to have that male influence. So I put my son in Cub Scouts. I try to put my son in karate and sports and other things, and really try to push that agenda issue this year to get him to be around men. But I think a lot of these men were raised around women, or handpicked by their sisters and their aunts and their grandmothers, and they just picked up the behaviors, not on purpose, just of women. And like I said, some of the women, it's not on purpose, but some of the women are on purpose. I know people who are horrible baby mothers that have done horrible things to try to keep their sons and daughters away from that person, just because they're bitter and they're spiteful and they're mad and they want to be with that person, but that person don't want to be with them. And it has nothing to do with parenting. Like, it just devolves into pettiness and their own personal feelings. And I think people should put that to the side for children. But I understand we're human beings and people are flawed and petty as hell. But I just think that I'm just tired of women demonizing black men like they're the worst, and realizing that it's not just them, it's the whole system. It's like I said, I'm going to do another video about dating, about how I feel like we're all doomed. Like, I just feel like unless something really changes in the way we date and the way we relate to people, I think social media has ruined dating. It's ruined. There's too much choice. It's too much like, oh, well, she has one hair out of place, I don't want to be with her. Or, oh, this person does this and this and this, and I don't want to talk to him. Or, oh, he's not good looking enough, tall enough. You go through all that when you're swiping left or swiping right. Like, you haven't even met the person yet. And then you're reading their profile, and you're looking at them and going, nah, no, next. Not her. No, she's not good enough. Like, you could be swiping by people that you may actually be able to make a connection with if you just take the physical and the superficial out of the way. You understand it? But I think that we're in such a swipe left, swipe right culture. And I don't see that changing. I just see more online apps, more online dating. I mean, it's exploded, but then you have all these people who are lonely, who are miserable, who go home and complain about, I just go home and work and I'm alone, and I just go out with my girlfriends or my dudes, and that's all I do. And like I said, this is not a black or white thing. This is a universal thing. There are a lot of lonely, misguided people out there. There are a lot of players out there who just talk to a whole bunch of women, and then you have all these women going like, "Oh, pick me. Is he gonna talk to me?" And then you have these dudes that get this attitude where they want you to chase them. And like I said, baby, I don't chase my liquor. I'm not chasing no man. I'm not gonna be behind a man going, "Were you gonna call me? When are you gonna come see me?" I had a relationship like that. Not to throw my ex under the bus, but I feel like, if you want to be with me, it's a 50-50 mutual thing. I don't have to beg you to text me or beg you to call me or when you're going to see me. You should want to see me. You should want to be with me. I don't feel the need like I got to sit here and ask you all the time, can you do this and can you do that? If I feel like I have to ask you all the time, then it feels like I'm begging. If you cannot pay attention to me as a partner and anticipate my needs or anticipate what I want, sometimes, not all the time, you're not a mind reader, I feel like I do things for my man because I care for him, because I appreciate the things that he do for me. It's back and forth. If he gets me a gift or buys me something, then I want to do something nice for him. It's not something that he has to ask for. It has to be Valentine's Day or his birthday or something. If I want to do a little something extra for my man, do a little something extra for my man. That's why I have the man that I have in my life, because I don't have to beg. And I tell women all the time, like, you should never have to beg. And you should never feel that, like, it's just this race doing this and this race doing that. Because, like I said, all men out here in our country has issues. And there's just so many different things. I can't pinpoint what the blame is. But the biggest thing, like I said, is online dating and social media. And it's the availability of all these women. And they talk to all these multiple women. And they're just whittling down to one eventually or hopefully or never. And then they start out to you lying about what they do, where they go, or some of them have nothing, but then they want to try to make themselves better than what it is, because then they start seeing that you have this going on and that going on. And the more you have going on, the more insecure they feel. And then the more insecure they feel, the more they treat you bad. Like I've experienced that in a relationship, that the more I had going on, it caused like some low-key resentfulness. And it ended up him pretty much like treating me like nothing, because it's just kind of like, and he wasn't doing it on purpose, it's subconscious wanting to take me down a peg or two. And then, like I said, I've had black women complain about this from black men who are not on their level, that they get an insecurity. And I said, honey, that's just a man being a man. That's just men. So like I said, we need to stop all this demonizing and want to jump ship, want to swirl just because they're not really attracted to white men. They just feel like they're going to get a better deal. If you want to be with somebody outside your race, be with that person because you like that person. You're attracted to that person. That person does something for you. That person is treating you good, not just because, well, I'm done with black men. I've dated black men. And then you jump ship and realize, okay, this is just as bad. It's just as messed up over here too. Like, yeah, like it's messed up on all ends. I would say women to concentrate on your education, concentrate on yourself, try to concentrate on loving your children, taking care of your children, helping your children to grow up and fight statistics and be the best people that they can be. And work through this society. Teach your sons how to treat women, how to talk to women, you know, um, open doors, how to be a man. I think we've lost a lot of that. Teach your young girls, how to be a lady and not get wrapped into this whole, well, I gotta look good and I gotta do this, and my hair need to be on point and my clothes need to be on point. All superficial things just to heal our wounds and how messed up we are sometimes as Black people and worried about the wrong things at the wrong time. But like I said, if you're gonna swirl, swirl, girl, swirl because you loving it. Don't swirl just because you think, oh, I'm gonna jump over there and get married, and this guy's gonna treat me like a queen. And no, because there's some dudes that just don't treat nobody like a queen. You can be the most beautiful Black woman, beautiful white girl, blonde hair, looking like a Kardashian, and they still gonna cheat on you and still treat you bad. These Black men, they talk about, well, they only like light-skinned women. They don't like white women. Okay, but what do they do when they get these light-skinned women? I have white female friends that got 2 or 3 babies by two or three different Black dudes, and they miserable. Yeah, these Black dudes get with these light-skinned, and they're attracted. They may be attracted to light-skinned or white women, or they may see it as a come-up, but they don't stay with them. They don't stay with nobody. They go date a sister my color, or a white girl, or a light-skinned sister. They just go with whatever they're attracted to. These white dudes, they like Latin women, Black women, white women. They just flit around to whatever that they feel attracted to. It doesn't mean that they're going to treat you any better. I mean, like I said, stop watching Love and Hip Hop. Stop watching these football players, entertainers. It may be true in their circles and their relationships. But reality TV is not reality, and it's just television. It's what you see on Love and Hip Hop and entertainment industry. That's not real. That's not what's going on out in these streets in this real world. So, get in the real world. If you're going to swirl, you never swirled before, come talk to me, send me a message. I will school you. I said it's region specific because some, men up north act different than men in the South. In the South, we got a lot of racism. There's not a lot of interracial couples down here like there is up north. So it's a different kind of dichotomy too. I have to put that into the fact. It's a different vibe down here. There's not a lot of Black women and white men down here. There's Black dudes with white women. You see it, but you see it a lot more than you do with a sister with a white man. That's just like an anomaly. People stop and stare all the time when I'm with my man or when I'm with my husband. But I just have to say I'm thankful to have the person that I have, that we're compatible and we get along. And I appreciate all the things that he do. He's probably going to see this video and be like, oh, get a big head and everything. Don't get no big head. But, and I appreciate it. He's a father and he tries hard and he's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I never have to beg for anything. I never had this man in my pocket. I never had this man trying to use me. And no matter what hard times that he has or what we go through, I don't have to worry about, any of that. I don't have to worry about somebody trying to use me for my money or for what I have. It's never been about that. I have ample. I have more than what he has, but I've never felt that inequity in a relationship. So, lady, if you're gonna date somebody who makes less than you, or in a certain situation, that's fine. It just all depends on how that person is treating you. If this person is trying to treat you as a meal ticket or a way to come up, that's not a good relationship. That's not love. If y'all are really, truly feeling like you're on an even playing field, this person's not trying to drain you dry. This person's not trying to bring you down. The person's not trying to interfere in how you take care of your life or your children or your business. They are there to support you. That's the kind of man that you need. It doesn't matter what color that man is. There are good men out there, ladies. I know it's hard to find. Like I said, trust me. I'm going to talk about it in another video. But y'all stay classy and stay sweet. And like I said, sisters, especially my sisters, I want you to succeed. I want you to be the best you that you can. And then sometimes you have to forge ahead single, then do it. Being married, you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself throw yourself on a sword like a sacrificial lamb just because you want to have a warm body next to you at night. Just because you want to have a ring on your finger because you didn't fell for this trap that everybody didn't told you. Worry about being the best you. Worry about your children. Focus on your kids. being your best life. Focus on really getting somebody that makes you feel good about who you are, makes you feel special and beautiful and wanted and needed. And like I said, that may take time and that may take effort. But if you don't want to give it the effort, hey, being single is cool too, ladies. It's cool too. Being by yourself is cool. Don't have people tell you in these churches and these friends and family members like, why are you single? And they sitting at Thanksgiving dinner with your auntie and she's like, well, what happened to that one dude you were dating? And what happened to the, don't let petty people bring you down. Or don't let your baby daddy like, well, you ain't got no man. That's right, I sure don't. Go on, move on. I got my kids, that's good enough. Worry about living your best life, doing your things. If you got to go on vacation by yourself, do it. If you got to go out to a bar or club by yourself, do it. Don't be scared. You know, it's not scary. And then maybe you'll find somebody, and you know what? Maybe you don't, but it's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. Focus on your babies, focus on your family, your pets, and most likely, and take care of yourself. Black women, we have diabetes and heart disease. We have so many health issues. It's because we work and work and work and stress ourselves out. And we shoulder the burden of the world sometimes on our shoulders, raising these kids and in these streets and just going through stress. So, you know, I know this is a long video, but you know, it's been weighing on my heart and my mind for a minute because, like I said, I'm a sister deep down inside. I'm still a sister. It don't matter who I'm dating, what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I look black. I live in the suburbs. Yeah, I live in a nice neighborhood, and there's not a lot of us out here at all. Where I live, there's barely any black people out here. But at the end of the day, I'm still a woman. I'm still a black woman. I still go through it. I hear you. I get on the YouTube channels and the YouTube screens, and I hear you. And I just don't want women to think that, you know, stop demonizing the brothers out there. They have it hard. They have different unique issues that are, you know, culturally we are different. Dating a black woman is different than dating a white woman. Dating a black man is different than dating a white man, from what I've seen and what I've been told. But at the end of the day, really, our society and the way it has warped us is not doing us any services. And you have to like stop taking these dudes so seriously in the beginning. Stop seeing stars in your eyes. When you see red flags, get out while you can get out. You know, and just you have to be date smarter. Stop procreating with these black men who ain't about shit. Stop procreating with this man about shit, period. Like, not even black ones. There are white dudes out there who have nothing going on for them at all. There are black dudes that have nothing going on. There's Latin dudes that have nothing going on for them at all. And that are looking to use you and abuse you. It happens in every race. So, you know, just be wary, take care of yourself, and just take care of your babies. And I'll be there every step of the way with you. I'm with you. Like, I'm with you. And, you know, just when you find somebody that you really cut for and care for, and you had that bond and had 11 twin flame thing that I have fought against for years, but I realize that there's no way of fighting it, then, you know, let that in as well, regardless of what your friends and family may say or think. When you have a connection with somebody, it's a great thing, and it's a rare thing. And then, you know, realize that rarity and relish in it. And then if you got a good man, you know, stay loyal to him. Stay down for that good man. You know, I stay down for mine. I do hella high water. I ain't going nowhere. So, but I wish you success, ladies, and love and life and light and all that. So, anyway, this Kiki. Like, subscribe, comment. See me on Instagram, Falling Stars Naturals Media. I'm getting tired, y'all. I can tell. And then also on my Etsy store at Falling Stars Natural. And I'm going to get up here and get ready and do some more work and enjoy my night. Y'all enjoy y'all night. Bye.